Going on, guys? Happy Friday. We have just gotten the reveal for the first Horseman, Morgan Le Fay. She was in the data mine, but of course, as always, anytime you get any rumors or like that, you don't want to assume things until they actually post a confirmation of the blog post of it. And it looks like she's going to be the first out of the four Horsemen. It's looking pretty. I'm excited. Her kit looks pretty wicked. It will be interesting to see how this new Darkhold team will basically be utilized. It looks like they're going to be able to counter Infinity Watch easily, and then it also looks like because of her passive here, we'll just scroll down here so you guys can have a look. But she's going to be a global mystic character, which is interesting to me because. Yeah, that means she's definitely going to be viable in Doom raids for sure in the Mystic part. I don't know if we need another Mystic team, but she's going to be utilized there. And then as you guys can see here, she's going to be a legendary as well. Her kit looks pretty wicked. Her first is Soul Siphon, copying 2 positives, and then of course stealing 10% health from the target and redistributing to herself. That's pretty wicked. Time Warp. She's going to be reducing speed bar for self of all allies and enemies by 100%. So that's it. That's weird. That's interesting that everybody basically gets affected by this. But they'll clear all the positives and then clear all negatives from herself, and then healing self for 100% of this character's health, and then dealing 10% of this damage of this character's health to all enemies. So it's gonna be like a rewind, I guess, and then it's gonna smash everybody up there. Speed up to 2 turns and immunity to self. So this attack's gonna be unavoidable, just like Phoenix's ultimate. Reality Break, clearing immunity from primary target. So again, targeting towards the Infinity Watch. Lots of immunity-based teams. Heroes for Hire, attacking primary and adjacent targets for piercing damage. Ooh, nasty. And then this attack has 50% extra crit chance. Wow. Implying disruption and slow to the target as well, and spreading all negatives from the primary to all adjacent targets. This will not spread stun or ability block, which makes sense, and then apply trauma and ability block to all controller enemies. Wow. So again, we get another character implementing that trauma in the game here, so that way they can't remove anything out, and of course they get ability blocked as well. So again, deadly against controller enemies. Flipping 2 positives into negatives, and that's to the non-controller guys, and then it's reducing the speed bar of enemies that do not have any negative effects. So even if they somehow manage to escape that, then they lose 30% of their speed bar. So wow, crazy ultimate. And her passive is ridiculous as well. It's just like, look at how long these paragraphs are of these abilities. It's just absolutely ridiculous. But on spawn, bear yourself for 20% of this character's health, and then on spawn, apply safeguard. We've only seen Adam Warlock with safeguard, so now we've got a character here that can utilize safeguard, and she can utilize trauma. So that's interesting. That's yeah, for sure. It's gonna be interesting to see what the other 3 Horsemen are like, but for sure she seems pretty OP'd right now. Fill speed bar by 5% per mystic enemy. So again, this is good against it's good against Infinity Watch. This is good against Eternals. This is good against Cloak and Dagger, especially the arena meta. And then of course it's also good against Dark Dimension 5 and Dark Dimension 4. Doom and Dormammu. So it's very interesting to see how this character is going to be a big counter to a lot of meta characters. On enemy turn, fill speed bar by 10% for self and Darkhold allies, and then lower crit chance. Again, this counters Infinity Watch, Heroes for Hire, gain 50% health. Darkhold enemies, allies, also get the health. So nice. In arena, gain 30% barrier. Holy smokes. And then they get a max barrier as well. And then this is interesting. Normal barrier is usually capped at 30% of the health, max health. And then Morgan Fay can basically bring it up to 60%. Wow. So that's going to be like, they get pretty much a massive amount of health barriered. It's just insane. So as you guys can already see here, the Scourge difficulties 1 through 5 will have flexible character requirements, but difficulty 6 and up, that's where we're going to require Web Warriors or Dark Hunters. So that's the keyword there, or. Interesting there, because that means, do we need one or the other for certain sections, or do we need one or the other throughout, and it's flexible that way? So that'll be interesting for sure. I would hold off on leveling and bumping any of these guys up until you're absolutely sure. But Web Warriors, I mean, we need them for Doom Raids. Pump them up. And Dark Hunters, I mean, we have the event going on next week, and then of course Morbius has been slotted in now too as well for another event, so we'll see what happens. But yeah, I wouldn't pump anything into Dark Hunters just yet. Web Warriors, at least we can utilize them. And then again, it says, you know, you don't need to have difficulty 6 to unlock her, but you're going to earn more points that way. So obviously, I think a lot of the whales are going to be smashing probably difficulty 6 and up, which sucks because if you're free to play, you're probably going to be sticking with 5 and under. And hopefully, you know, even if you're starting out in the game, hopefully those lower difficulties, they don't seem too bad. I think difficulties 1 through 4, you know, they requires gear tier 7 and to 11, which I think is fairly reasonable. And then of course you need 13 for difficulty 5, and then it bumps up to 15 and above for difficulty 6. And then of course you're going to need the Web Warriors for that. And I know lots of people, you know, they've already bumped, I think, Scarlet and Ghost Spider up to tier 16 for Dark Dimension 5. So I think that's reasonable. But yeah, it's interesting if those two can basically carry the team, or they'll need the whole team. For sure, that'll be interesting to see. And then, of course, they make a reference that there is going to be gear tiers higher than 16 here. As you guys can see, they got 17, 18, and 19. So, yeah, very interesting to see how that's going to play out when the event actually comes. But as you guys already know, the Heroes Haunting event's coming. Spirit Slayer. Just make sure you guys are leveling up certain characters. I think when I saw it in the roster, it was you got you got Hela, Thanos, Loki. There's a whole bunch of good characters you can use for this event, and that's starting next week there. And then of course celebrating Women's History Month. Just a whole bunch of nice little bonuses here. But we're not going to talk about all this because you guys don't need a long lengthy video. But yeah, extremely excited. It will be interesting to see how the Scourge event is. Her kit looks good. It's going to be definitely for sure. You've got Red Star orbs. You got anything left over. You just make sure you're pumping and saving those when she does get into the event here. And then it looks like they got the Nowhere Heist coming back as well. So if you are doing Nowhere Heist, yes, this might be a good time now to maybe bump some characters up to that gear tier 14 or 15, and then maybe get some of those that elite 7 that's guaranteed there. I think that's gonna be fairly good to save, especially if you guys are trying to aim for the 4 Horsemen. All right, guys, that's all we got for this time. That's a blog post for Friday. Hopefully you guys already checked it out, but I'm extremely excited. For sure, I'll be hoarding like crazy on my Red Star orbs, and I'll be saving probably power cores and everything else as well. So thanks, guys. We'll catch you guys in the next one.